Hey, thanks for watching Chief and Grandstand. Today I'm going to start reloading some 9mm self-defense rounds for Grandstand. And I've got all the stuff that we need, but I wanted to just kind of show you where to start, what it takes, your options, and things like that. We're going to start off with our reloading manual. And I'll open it up and show you where to begin. Okay, I've opened up the reloading manual. Found my 9mm Luger. What you'll see on the opening page, it's going to take a small pistol primer. It gives your overall length, which is really critical. It does give you a minimum length as well. It gives you your dimensions and things like that, but the overall length, once we get finished, is something that I really pay a ton of attention to. So, small pistol primers. These are just the ones that at the time that I could find by Remington. They come in packs of, these are 100. You can buy them by the 500 or the 1,000. They're not too expensive, but sometimes they are difficult to find. When you look at your grains, these are just a few of the choices for bullets. You can say they're all 9mm, but then it got from the right to the left, you got 90 grain, you've got 115 grain, and then you've got 124 grain. That means that it still shoots out of the same gun, but this 124 grain is a little more bullet traveling than the 90. So it's just a little bit heavier. So when you decide which one you want, you can see like it's the 90 grain. If you flip over a couple of pages, bear with me, you've got your 115 grain. Then we're going to go over to the 125 grain. And it's going to be the XTP. Actually, I went too far. I apologize. Here we go. 124 grain XTP. And what I do is I look at all the different types of gunpowder here on the far left that you can use to reload this bullet. Two of the options that I have on my shelf, these are just two of many. You've got the Hogden Tight Group and the Hogden Long Shot. I like the Long Shot because I reload my shotgun shells with that. It does a lot of pistol rounds as well. So if you're looking for like a powder that kind of does multi-purpose, Long Shot is a great choice. Tight Group does some as well. If you look, it's got Long Shot and Tight Group. It tells you your starting grains. 4.7 for Long Shot, 4.1. It tells you never to exceed the 5.7 or the 4.4. So when we're measuring our gunpowder, let's start here and then we'll fire a few of them, see how it goes. And then once we get it all dialed in, we'll go ahead and make our bullets, and I'll show you how to do that here shortly. Okay, as you can see, I've got my Long Shot powder poured in. Got my 9mm brass here. Got everything zeroed. So what we do, come over to our reloading manual. I've got Long Shot. It says starting grains is 4.7, never exceed 5.7. We're going to start at 4.7. That's going to give us 1,022 feet per second, which is really cool because of our class 3 stuff that we have. That's going to be subsonic. So we do look for that from time to time. So we're going to go 4.7. What we do, come over here. We're going to hit 4.7 and then hit go. And you can see it starts trickling. Just give it a minute. It's slowly trickling, making sure it's always within 1/10 of a grain, which is really accurate. It's plenty enough for how accurate we want to shoot. So when that gets done, a little more. There we go. It'll beep at me, and that's ready to pour into our 9mm brass. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel so I can set this camera down, pour it back in here, And I will set the camera up and we'll start adding some powder. One thing I wanted to add, and I did not know this, but when I pull this off and start pouring it into my brass, this thing sits. So as soon as I put this back on and it's zeroed, it starts trickling again. So it's going to continue to give me 4.7 grains until I hit the cancel button. So that's kind of nice. As I'm loading this in, it's already working on the next one. So I can just start adding powder to these fairly quickly. As you can see, this thing is phenomenal. I have used some RCBS dies and some other tools of theirs, along with the Hornadays and the Lee Precisions and stuff like that. And they all kind of go together. You're trying to accomplish the same thing. But so far, I am in love with this powder dispenser. It's ultra easy, it's simple, and for an old, simple, common sense type of guy, I highly, highly recommend this. All right, we got our gunpowder in all of our 9mm. What we're gonna do now is take them over to the single stage press and start putting some bullets in them. Okay, I've got my Lee single stage press. I've got my die in. I've already got the powder in. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna follow the Lee Precision is loading bullet seating die instructions. And then we're gonna get the die set up, adjusted, either up or down, then you got your adjustments here. Load the bullets into the brass. They will go in here. I'm left-handed, so I'll go this way. You can see my primer stuff that I had from the other night. And we'll show you the end result. Stay tuned. Okay, whether you're just an old veteran that likes to do some reloading to pass some time, one of the other most important things you can have is a good set of calipers. I chose to get the digital ones. I've had these for a few years. I always have an extra spare battery. But on the reloading manual, it says 1.169 is the maximum length. That doesn't mean it's got to be 1.169, but it cannot exceed that. So what I did was, and this works, I'm trying to do this one-handed, apologize. But if I come up here and I close this up, if I can, just a roll, I usually do about 145 to 150. That gets me about 200ths, or excuse me, yeah, 200ths of an inch difference. It gives me a little bit of a gap. That way when it's cycling through, I have a little bit of play to be able to come up into the chamber when it fires. I've learned that if I hit that 1.169 exactly, it's a little bit long for our pistols, and sometimes they'll get hung or they'll hit the front of the bullet sometimes. So I like to make it just a little bit shorter. Plus, I mean, this is a 9mm self-defense round. It's for grandstand. I mean, he's not going to shoot no more than, what, across a bedroom, say 12, 15 feet. Or if he's out and there's a possum or raccoon or something like that, well, I mean, that's going to be 20, 25 feet at the most. Plus, I don't think he can actually see further than that. So the 145 versus the 169, that's going to be fine for us. But you play around with it, see what's better for you, but do not exceed the 1.169. All right, I've got all the bullets inserted into the brass. I've taken out my bullet seat and feed die. Now I'm going to the factory crimp die. I've already got it in. And we're going to set it up, adjust it. Well, again, we're going to continually measure, make sure we haven't messed with the overall length and stuff like that. check them out. I inspect every single bullet. I try to make about 20 at a time. That way I'm not just slinging it. I want to make sure they're right. And like I said, again, this is just for us. We don't sell these or anything, but it's a real good hobby to pass some time, spend some downtime, maybe share with your kids and some other family members. Stay tuned. We'll get these crimped and show you the results. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. I've got them all done, finished. What I'm doing now is just for grandstand. I'm gonna go ahead and polish these up. Get a little bit of that oil and grease that was on the outside of them from the sizers. Get them all nice and pretty. Put them in a box, take them over to him. All right, I've got grandstands, 9mm bullets we just made. They're cleaning up. I want to give a quick shout out to a couple of veteran buddies of mine, Gunny and Ram. If you know a veteran that's deployed, please check in on their families. If you're a veteran and need some help, please let me or someone know. Thank you again for watching. If you have comments or questions, please let me know. Have a great day and God bless.